Hey everyone, I've been getting a lot of questions about how I make these wooden boxes for the Ravioli gift set. So I'm going to walk you all through the steps. It's a really easy box to make, pretty basic joinery, and it's all held together with glue, but it's super strong. So stay tuned and I will get into the specifics. So the body of each box is made up of 5 pieces, not including the lid. So you got the 2 side pieces, back, front, and this is the bottom. So the way it's going to go together is actually pretty simple. You put the bottom into its grooves, slide the back into its groove, the front, and that's it. Then you clamp it up and let it sit for an hour or so, and it's good to go. So, I'll walk you through the gluing process. But first the joinery. So, pretty straightforward. This is called a rabbet cut, and I do all this on my router table. It's called a rabbet. This is a dado groove, and the side pieces are exactly identical. Same length, same grooves, everything. The front and the back are the same way, but they don't have that rabbet joint because they are actually received by the rabbet joint to make that nice fit. And the beauty of this joint is you get more surface area for glue, so it ends up being a much stronger joint. The only difference between the front and the back piece is that you can see this is the front piece here, and I've cut off the top so that when it goes together, the eventual lid will have an area to slide out of. So the gluing procedure is pretty simple. I'm going to put one bead all the way around the bottom of every piece, the bottom groove. And then I'm going to put glue on these rabbet joints. It's important on the front and the back that you don't go any higher than right here, and you'll see why in a minute. So I'm just going to use my little silicone glue brush, spread that out. You want to get good coverage on the face and this little shoulder cut here. Same thing on the front. And then just repeat the process over here. And you're ready to glue up. So just like I did before with the dry fit, get the sides on. Then you're going to put the back on. Make sure everything's nice and square. Then the front goes on. And then it's all together. And I just mentioned why you don't put glue here, because you don't, that way the glue will be exposed and you don't want to see that because the lid is going to slide in like that. Another important thing I do is make sure that the tops of these rabbet cuts are lined up in the corner. Otherwise, when the lid goes in, if the back is higher or lower, it'll slide, or it'll catch, and it won't be a nice tight fit. Or excuse me, it will be too tight, and it won't slide in easily. And then I'm going to end up using 6 clamps for this. I clamp the front and the back first, just to kind of hold everything in place. And these are just important for determining whether or not the box is square. And the way I do that is just, just use my square here, and this looks pretty good. Check both sides. If it's not square, if it's racked a little bit, you can kind of adjust the clamps this way or this way to bring it from a parallelogram back into square. So once I got the front and back clamps on, I'm going to do 4 more. This is going to ensure that these sides are nice and tight. So 2 on the top, and then you just want to make sure that everything's coming together nicely. This is a little high. Sometimes these boards are just different overall thicknesses, widths. So that's okay. I'm going to sand this at the end so everything will come out nice and smooth. So we've got the tops on. Then we're going to get the bottoms on. And you might be thinking to yourself, man, 6 clamps for such a little box, that really seems like overkill. But it's really the best way to ensure that every glue joint is perfectly tight and you got a really good seal. Yeah, so you can see here that I'm getting just a little bit of squeeze out right there, which is what you want to see. You know that the glue is covering the full joint. And then that's pretty much it. The top piece is going to be a little bit longer than this. I don't cut those till the end, but it's basically just going to slide in like that. And I'll cut a little thumb hole here with my router. And then, yeah, that's it. So I'll let it dry up for a little while. I'll sand it smooth, get that lid in there, and then I'll engrave the lid, and it's good to go.